Bonjour. This is Imaduck, also known as Imaduck, doing a Innistrad 8-4 draft. I apologize for not posting anything in a while. Turns out, I was busy traveling over the holidays. Got 16th place in GP Austin. And here I am now. I actually tried to record a couple drafts and ended up like getting mana screwed and then getting mana screwed again and losing them, and I figured you guys wouldn't want to watch that. So I'm gonna try again here, and with actually I think the last bit of extra money I have left after all of my winnings from my from M12. I did really well in M12 draft. Had a bunch of extra money. I've been kind of dwindling through it because Innistrad is so has such a high variance to it. So I figured might as well go all or nothing with a nice Innistrad 8-4 draft. So hopefully we'll open some sweet packs and see how it goes. But it looks like the 8-4 is filling up fast here. So hopefully we'll start in, well, just right now. Cool. And alright. Well, this is a pretty sweet pack. Crew and Outlaw is really cool. The card, for a while I didn't rank as highly as I should, I think, because I didn't totally read this. Especially about the each werewolf fuel control when it flips. Makes them all insane. Like, you could really build around this card. But, and that's a pretty good card, but I think Blood Gift Demon is just better. Because all Blood Gift even has to do is live to be good. It's actually kind of close here, especially given that there is a dead weight in the pack, so there's going to be another black person to my left, but that's not a huge deal. I should say person in black, not black person. Could be a black person to my left, but the world may never know. Anyway, so yeah. I could see an argument for taking the Crew and Outlaw here, but Blood Gift Demon's pretty insane, so I think I'm just going to go with that. There were some other great cards in that pack too, but, whatever. So Black-White is an archetype, and just glancing over this pack, I think the best card is the Priest. Prey Upon is a card, but Black-Green really is not good. And nothing else in this pack really jumps out at me as playable. So I think I'll just take the Priest. Could be a signal that we got past, although we're missing... No, not missing a rare here. We're missing the flip card here. So maybe missing a rare. If this was a real draft, we know exactly what the guy to our right took. But since Wizards made the so wise choice to make online draft different from regular draft, whatever. We're in the situation now. Anyway. I could take a Ghoul Razor if I want to stay in colors, but it's not really worth it. So, not much to say about that. If we are going to go Black-White, then Unburial Rites is crazy good. And there's not really anything else in this pack I'm really interested in. Like, Alchemy's fine, and there's some random red dudes that are okay. But, Lantern Spirit's an okay dude too, but no, Unburial Rites is insane, so I will happily take that. Even if I end up not in that. Well, if we are going Black-White, then the best card in this pack, I think, is Mausoleum Guard. I'm honestly not sure where to rate Rebuke. Like, I'm aware that, in fact, let me put the card thing up here. In case you've never read Rebuke, that is, in fact, what it does. Hopefully, in the format this late, you've seen every one of these cards. But anyway, so... yeah, I'm not sure where to rank Rebuke, because I know it's better in some decks than others, but it still seems fine in certain decks. But I know Mausoleum Guard is very good. The only risk with Mausoleum Guard is you don't want to take too many 4-drops, which is a huge risk in this format. As we see here, as we've got 2 more to kind of, between Voiceless Spirit and Thraden Sentry here. And then Disciple. So Disciple doesn't really activate anything we have already. So I think I'm fine with the Voiceless Spirit. We can actually start looking at our curve here now. Like I said, there's a lot of good 4, 5, and 6 drops in this format. And of course, looking at the new set, it looks like that's even more going to be the case. And that seems like a trap. Like you're going to just end up picking way too many 4, 5, and 6 drops. And a lot of people tend to do that, which then makes having a lot of good 1, 2, and 3 drops like really good. Here, I like Cathar. I like Cathar more than a lot of people, even I think. But again, it comes from this idea that if you could just have a fast beatdown deck in this format, it could just steal wins from a lot of decks. Now, if we want to go fast beat down, we go Interloper here. Else it's Urgent Exorcism, but I don't see any reason not to go Interloper here. So I'm going to take that. Exorcism's okay, but not great. Going on that beatdown plan, Silver Chase Fox, just sort of an underrated card. I mean, even as a 2-mana 2/2, he's really cool. And he's got this bonus on top of it that he can get rid of enchantments. The other option would be this Smite the Monstrous. And it's actually a bit close. But I think I'm just going to kind of go beatdown here, and we'll kind of see what happens. Hopefully I'll pick up a Smite a little later on. Cathar's not very good, but, there's nothing else in this pack at this point in our colors, so that's fine. Hey, Endless Ranks of the Dead tabled. But, yeah, we don't have any zombies, and even if we did, it's really hard to justify that card. Fence Snake's fine, though. Nothing I'm really interested in here. Pierced Heart could be annoying, or this. I'll take the Woodland Sleuth. Why not? Ridgewolf. A lot of red, although none of it was really good. So I'm not sure what that means. Maybe there aren't any more, or maybe there's just one red drafter at the table. I'm feeling okay about what we have so far, but I could use some more removal. I mean, Priest is basically removal, but definitely could use some more. I'm kind of wondering if that Smite pick, not picking Smite the Monstrous earlier, is going to come back and bite me, but we'll find out. Selfless Cathar isn't really one of the cards I necessarily want to play, but he's not terrible either. He's an, okay card. Oh, well, look at that. I'll just casually just pick up the Scourge Sack High Priest. This is a pretty sweet pack anyway, though. It's got a Claustrophobia and an Into Maw. And if we were any of those either of those colors would be great. But I really love High Priest. I've played with it in several limited events and have just been really excited about this card. I mean, he just, it just really, at some point, just makes it impossible for your opponent to attack or block. And usually when your opponent cannot attack and cannot block, that's when you win the game, pretty much. This pack is less exciting, and I really hope to see some removal, specifically black removal, sometime soon. Spectral Rider is not the worst, though, and the rest of this pack is the worst. I could take a Traveler's Amulet, but I typically don't like that card. So I'm just going to skip. Here I will... Didn't even look at the rest of the pack. I was like, yeah, I'm asking for some removal, and here it is. I mean, there's some cards in this pack, but Chapelgeist would be fine in this deck, but Victim is exactly what we want. Black-white, there's a stigma against it because the mana's kind of bad, but, in limited anyway, it's not as big a deal as in constructed. Falcon Wrath Noble is insane, and it's a pretty good sign that we're seeing it go this late, so I will happily scoop that up. The Victim Knight's okay. I'd actually rather have some deadweights and stuff, just because Victim and Knight can randomly be bad, but I think it's still going to be fine in this deck. So I'm still feeling okay. I'm going to hide the Purebloods. Hopefully we won't have to run them. Fen Snake, actually, I felt a little bit better about. At first glance, 5/1 seems terrible, but, it actually creates some really awkward board states in this format that often work out to your advantage. So that's not the worst. Getting killed by Geist Flame kind of sucks, but otherwise. Yeah, there's literally nothing for us in this pack other than maybe a Silver Inlaid Dagger. So instead, I'm just going to take the Isolated Chapel. I probably favor color fixing a little more than I should, But, I mean, it's got to be a sign, right? That we're seeing the right color fixing right here. Plus, I think this card has gone up a little bit. I think it's a ticket or two. Now that Esper Control is a thing. Here, between Walking Corpse and Blazing Torch, I think. And I really do like Walking Corpse. It's just a lot better than it looks. But picking up the nice cheap removal Blazing Torch is pretty sweet. Doom Traveler or Typhoid Rats. I think I like Doom Traveler better. It's close, but it's just so Doom Traveler just has a lot of synergy in this format. Now it's between Rats and Smite, and I will take the Smite here. It's good to have one Smite, I think, but having more than that just can really end up being not so spicy. So I'm feeling a lot better about our deck now, actually. We definitely need some more playables, but so far it's pretty sweet. We've got 2 great black bombs, and we've got a couple of pieces of removal. 3 pieces of removal, really, if you include the priest. Overall, it's looking all right, and we're getting a fairly aggressive curve here. I'm going to go ahead and hide the Cathar. Hopefully we're not going to have to run him. I'll leave Fence Snake up here. You could be fine in this if we get a bit more removal. Here there's nothing too exciting, so I'll take a Gallows Warden. Not the worst card, but, you know, it turns out in this format a 3/3 flyer is just a bit slow and just not always what you're looking for. But not the worst thing to play either, so we'll see. Not really anything here. I already have a Purebloods that I've hidden already. I don't think Skeleton is playable in this type of deck. Take this card. Who knows? If we're playing against, like, the double red enchantment deck, then, you know, could be a card. Probably not. Mask? I don't know what it really does for us here. I look at this card and I don't want to play it. I've seen a few people play it and it's okay. I guess I'll take the Noble though. But yeah, Mask, I feel like it's a card it's borderline unplayable, but it still is playable, but I still don't know when to play it. I'll take a troll even though I don't want to use it. I'll take the Vampiric Fury just in case. There are decks where that can be a card. Alright. So we have 17 cards here. It's not bad. Wow. So one way to win a draft is to get open all rares in your color. That is really the way to do it. The rest of this pack is alright, but Curse of Death's Hold is just crazy good. I'm feeling pretty good about this draft now. Hopefully we don't get mana screwed. Here it's between, I mean, this is just a bad pack for us. Blasphemous Act. I was going to say it's between Abbey Griffin and Disciple, but I would almost splash Blasphemous Act if we need it. I mean, it's just kind of a bitchin' card here. And, well, Disciple is fine because it does enable our Priest. Yeah, I'll take that. Hopefully we don't get blown out by the Blasphemous Act. Ow, Brimstone Volley. So then I would have just picked up this. If I had taken that Blasphemous Act and just splashed for the both of them. As it stands, though, Priest is fine. Blazing Torch is good. Silver Chase Fox is good. But Priest is pseudo-removal. That was a pretty powerful pack, though. I think there's going to be a really good red deck. We're just seeing a lot of red going around. Even if it's not the best red, like at some point, you know, it's going to be all taken. Of course, there was very good red. Earlier we saw a lot of red, but it wasn't great. But even still, that's kind of a sign that, you know, people probably did pick the good red cards, and the mediocre red cards were still kind of sticking around in there. Yeah, look at that, a Rage Thrower here, really? So it's between Patrician and Blazing Torch. To me, that's actually kind of close. I like Blazing Torch more than a lot of people, I guess, and that's just because it's worked for me a lot. But seeing as we have Double Priest, Victim, and a Torch already, I don't know that we need it. Need another Torch, and Markov Patrician's pretty sweet. Our 3-drop slot's kind of light right now. Could take Nevermore. Yeah, don't ever take Nevermore. Let's take the Patrician. Patrician's a pretty solid card. Just, kind of one of these you must deal with me now or you're going to lose the game type cards. No, I mean, it's not that good. I mean, it won't win the full game for you, but it can, it'll just win any race situation if they're not, doing some sort of unfortunate block to kill it. Anyway, okay, so yeah, I wouldn't have taken the other Disciple if I knew I was going to get past one. Really nothing else here. I don't think Spare from Evil. I haven't played with that card, so maybe I undervalue it, but Disciple's not... Double Disciple isn't the end of the world. Is Disciple a human? It is a human. It works with the Elder Cathar we're going to pick up. It's the second Back from the Brink we've seen. Back from the Brink is a card... It's interesting. I've played it before, and I've played against it before. When I played it, I felt like it was too slow, but when I've played against it, it's like if you have a slow deck, that card will destroy you. Like if you have a slow deck and you're playing against someone who has that card, it's kind of like the bomb to end all bombs because you're just getting free dudes. 2 or 3 free dudes a turn. That's hard to deal with. I mean, they've got tap mana for it, but that's it's really hard to race against that. I don't care how good your bombs are. And so, yeah, Back from the Brink ends up being alright if you're playing against a slow deck. But against a fast deck, it's just way too freaking slow to bother with. Really nothing here. I really think it's hard to justify playing this card ever. If I had a lot of Doom Travelers, maybe? Like, I've got a Doom Traveler and a Mausoleum Guard, but I don't think it's enough. I'm going to run a Gallows Warden. Got so many 5-drops that I'm definitely running as is. Do I just take a Scarecrow for the sideboard? I guess so. I mean, I just really can't see myself running that second Gallows Warden. It just does not compute here. I'm going to hide this, hide the Isolated Chapel too, just to keep my count straight here. We could take the Witch or the Chapelgeist. I think we're just going to take the Chapelgeist. Which, you really, like, I would think logically in my head, like, oh, well, the Witch, it's going to be really awesome with my Curse. And yeah, I could draw them both, but how often is that going to happen? But, Witch costs 5, and maybe you don't have it in your opening hand. And so Witch costs 5, so you've drawn an additional 5 turns, even if Witch and the other card aren't in your opening hand. Anyway, you draw Witch and already have your Curse in your hand way more often than you actually expect, is my point here. Anyway, here I'll sure take an Abbey Griffin. Take a Silver Chase Fox. Yep, there are going to be some cuts here. Take a Cobble Wings can be annoying, so I'll take that. I don't think I'll play it though. Sure, Night Terrors. So I'm feeling fairly good about our deck. I mean, it's got a good number of bombs and, a solid 2-drop slot. That's basically what you want in this format. I hope our mana's not too awkward. We do even have a color-fixing land, though. So I feel like our deck's going to be pretty hot, but we'll see how it comes out here in a moment. Alright, so this is my deck. I think that's fine. I think our 5-drop slot's a little high. Maybe I could pull Gallows Warden for... I like it better than Abbey Griffin and the Purebloods. And I think I like it better than Fen Snake. I mean, it's one more than Fen Snake and does a whole lot. I don't need a second Disciple in this deck. Night Terrors is meh. So yeah, our 5-drop slot's a little heavy, but we've got so many 2-drops that kind of makes up for it, I guess. 2-drops and 3-drops. I think it's a fine curve. Smite the Monstrous, maybe a little more than we need, but I think this works fine here. So let's add some land here. Moto suggests me something. 8 and 8. Well, that's kind of scary. Certainly pile by the colors here. I almost want to cut a black and do 7-9. But then we only have one double. So it's closer to like 9 and 9 because of this chapel. So Okay, sure. I'm fine with 9 and 9. Why not? Feels good. Um, yeah, so I guess I'm feeling alright about this. Like I said, I think our deck's kind of cool. A bit aggressive, got some bombs, Curse of Death's Hole, Bloodgift Demon, and randomly get there with High Priest. Got 17 creatures, which I don't. Unless you're running like a very gimmicky deck, I don't think you should ever run less than 15 creatures in this format. Period. I'll say that now, and I just it's just if you just it's so important to just trade off creatures. Like even if you're the slow control deck in this format, it's so important to trade off creatures in the first few turns that not doing that seems like a problem, and just not having the creatures we can do that is a problem. So 17 creatures is good. It's very good. I think that's kind of right where you want to be at, where we can be very aggressive with a bunch of creatures. Again, 1, 2, 3 drops is where you want to be at. 4 and 5 drops are a dime a dozen, so you don't have to worry about them so much. But of course, our 4 and 5 drops are awesome, so yeah, that's okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this deck. I just something's giving me a bad taste. Maybe just being white black is always kind of a tricky archetype, and especially like here, I don't even have a synergistic deck at all. I just have a powerful deck, I think. But you know, I do feel like people spend so much time now because you can build really cool gimmicky decks in this set. People sometimes just put way too much focus on making sure they have a gimmicky deck. I want this graveyard deck. I want this, that, and the other. And in doing that, they'll often give up the powerful cards. And so if you're the guy who just sits back and picks up powerful cards, or, as we've seen here, opens 3 rares in the same color, uh, then you can just get lucky and benefit off of people have decks like that and just beat them on sheer power level. And that's what I'm shooting for here. So hopefully we'll beat our opponents on sheer power level. It's kind of a mid-rangey. We've got some removal. We've got some stuff. And hey, we even have late game. We're going to win this, I think. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm pretty happy with the deck. And I'll see you in round 1.